Yep, so this is the same as number 4 on the lecture notes, so I'll explain what I did here. So we're completing the square, and remember for all of our forms, we're going to have a completed square in either x and y on one side, and then the other stuff, the other letter on the other side. So, where to go? Oops. There we are. So what I did was, since we need to complete this square in y, I'm getting the x term and the constant term over to this side. And then I completed the square. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared makes 4. So just like we did in the last two sections, if I add a 4 to this side, I have to add a 4 to that side. This is actually easier in this section than it was in the last two. Factor that down, collect terms over here, and factor it out, because again, remember back here, all of these are in the form of x minus h quantity squared, so some perfect trinomial square on this side. And then you're going to factor out whatever is in front of that y, so that you get it down to the form of y minus k or x minus h, depending on which one of these versions you're working on. So that is what happened right there. Is, in this case, it is a y squared negative. So I have a negative 8 on that x, which tells me that's exactly what I have to factor out of there, because I need to get this to x plus or minus some value. So I take out the negative 8, and then that leaves this as a positive 3, because if you distribute back, there's your negative 24. So for this one, same exact thing, other than this time it's x squared instead of y squared. So that means I want my x terms to the left of the parenthesis, of the equal sign, and my other stuff, I'm going to bring that over here, minus 4y minus 8. And then we complete the square, so x squared plus 4x, half of 4 is 2, 2 squared makes 4. So we're going to add 4 onto both sides. So that's there and there. And then now I can factor this, so I have x plus 2 quantity squared equals negative 4y, and minus 8 plus 4 would be minus 4. And again, we got to have it as in this form where we've factored out the common factor and we have just a plain variable here. So that tells me I need to take a negative 4 out of this side. And then watch that sign right there when you factor out a negative, because the sign has to change so that when you distribute back, it stays negative. So that would make it negative 4. So once you're here, we're back to exactly where we were in the last video I just did, which I think was number 6, if someone in the future is referencing this. So from here, it's exactly like problem 6. You could just identify your vertex, negative 2, negative 1. You know this is opening down, and you know that A is 1. Once you do that, then you can, from the graph, you can get all the rest of